most of the investors I've spoken with, it's always about the fact that you don't have the experience.
And the great thing about this conversation is this is a real problem that most tech startup CEOs face. What specifically do you feel you need to do to connect with people on such a level to create this level of trust?
In every conversation, for every relationship I'm building right now, I'm trying to go back to my root, the root of building traditional relationship before bringing product into it.
What if you did leverage your team in that? What would change?
Things could actually go faster.
Now, what is your next step?
Oh, that's complicated.
In this episode, we'll be speaking with Abisoye Bello, and he's the CEO at Adeva Identity, and we spoke about some of the challenges that he has faced raising fund, as well as how he has overcome those challenges, shifting his mindset from a technical founder to a visionary leader as he's leading his team to success. And also, Abisoye shared something very interesting. He has been in China for 12 years after only returning to Nigeria, sharing some of the technical evolutions that your mind would never imagine. Stay tuned and enjoy.
Now, before we dive into today's interview, let's spotlight the analyst type CEO. Analysts are meticulous, data-driven leaders who make decisions based on careful research and planning. They dig into the details, analyze risk, and approach growth strategically. Now, while thoughtful approach is critical, analysts also need to balance analysis with inspiration. After all, if vision and passion are still key ingredients when it comes to leadership. Now, our guest today, Abisoye, absolutely personifies the analyst CEO type. He is not just a CEO of Sabedoria, but also the visionary founder of Adeva Digital Identity. Abisoye is a technologist with a passion for connecting people in the digital realm for a common good. He firmly believes that digital identity should serve not just individuals, but the growth of entire communities. Abisoye, welcome to the show, brother. I'm super thrilled to have you here. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm so happy to have you as well. I'm happy to be here. Happy to see you. And
before we actually go ahead. You said
the name correctly today. That's nice.
Okay, help me with it.
Yeah. I mean, the way you said the name, I mean, it's pretty much like, accurate now. Yeah, like Abisoye, like Abisoye.
Oh, I said it accurate today.
Yeah, like perfect, like perfect. Like, just the way anyone would.
Awesome.
That's nice. Okay.
Just to let all the listeners know, I've been practicing turning my tongue to pronounce this young man's name. And even before we hit the record button, I understand that, he's back home after 12 years of being in China. So just before you share your entrepreneurial story with us, let us also know how's that experience been for you after 12 years, man?
The experience in China or the experience back home after 12 years?
Back home after 12 years.
Oh yeah, it's a lot different. Like it's a lot different in terms of everything. Like everything's changed. Like like when I left Nigeria 12 years ago, it was like we don't literally have anything here in terms of technology. So, but here today we have a lot in terms of technology. So there's been a lot of major innovation in terms of technology right here. I mean that happens within the span of 12 years. I mean, knowing the fact that I actually went to China knowing the fact that I actually went to China to develop my skills and coming back after 12 years, like, wow, all the skills are, I mean, literally everything is done. It's like, so, but then so things have changed. Roads have changed. Roads have changed. The way people do everything has changed. The way literally everything's actually changed. And people, I mean, a lot of friends are gone. A lot of friends are gone in terms of dead. And some of friends are like,
oh wow, I'm sorry
still
about
there.
that.
Some of them are still there. Someone told me something while I was in China about 7 years ago. He said, "Oh, you people living abroad, remember that by the time you come back, the people you left won't be alive anymore. So try to check up on them." And I didn't take that word seriously till I got back. So when I came back, I was like, "Shit, this uncle is gone. That uncle is gone. This particular friend of mine, the guy I used to play with, he's gone too."
Oh, wow.
And so many things. And the people that you actually had, some of the people that you had in your life and all that that were part of your backbone when you were young and all that. Like, yeah, some of them like, gone. And I was like, shit, time is crazy.
Mm,
Time is really crazy.
yeah,
And
yeah,
my dad gone too. So, so
yeah. And
right.
first
So
thing I
12
must
years.
say,
Yeah. So so
I
much.
must say,
Right.
my condolences for
It's
any of your losses, and I totally
right.
can relate with that. Yeah, and
Right. Right.
I'm curious, what would you say has been the biggest technological change that you have noticed going back home? Yeah, being an entrepreneur in China, having your own technology company, and now going back home. What has surprised you the most?
One of the major surprises, is that assumptions and reality are two different things entirely. When you are out of China, and when you are out in China and like building stuff for Africa, not being in Africa, like they are two different things entirely. Building stuff for Africa while in China, so then coming back to realize the fact some of the solutions and all that that you assumed has been built already, but probably not built to perfection. But at least they're getting
Mm,
there. So, but
ah,
they are
yeah,
going
yeah.
somewhere. They are going somewhere. But
Mm,
because of your own experience outside Africa, you're able to see farther than some of the local companies over here, and you're able to provide better services
mm,
to compared to some of the local companies. You're able to see things that they might not have seen yet because they are operating here. So, but then they are on that
mm,
track. They're already on that track. Like they're already going that path. And so there have been so many
yeah, yeah.
technological innovations, right? One of the major ones I saw was like, I mean, I posted it on my LinkedIn. Like, was when I went over to the bank to apply for a bank card, to apply for a bank, to apply for
Mm.
an account at the bank. Literally while in China, it would take me about 1 to 2 hours to get a bank account open. But getting back over here, yeah, well, getting back over
Yeah,
here, it took me less than five.
a weird reality in China for us.
Right. So, but right here, it just took me about 5 minutes. Just like they just gave me something to fill. While I was filling, they were just entering my details, and before I knew it, it was less than 5 minutes. I got an account number, and before I knew it was like they just told me, "Oh, go outside. When you go
Mm,
outside, you can print your bank." I was like, so I was like, "You will print your bank card yourself?" He says, "Yeah, yeah. Go outside, you print your bank card yourself." No, 12
mm.
years ago, that wasn't a thing in Nigeria. 12 years ago, you will have to go
That's
home,
awesome.
come back, and get a card. And this particular thing is not even in China yet. Like, you have to queue. After queuing, you have to
Mm,
wait. They'll have to
mm.
verify your passport if
Yeah.
it's real. They
But
will have
even
to like,
even even before we go down
right, right, right,
That
right,
China
right, right,
rabbit
right,
hole, I want to
right, right,
pull you
right,
back
right,
to the
right,
change in the landscape in
right,
Nigeria,
right,
and I
right,
want to know how did 12 years ago, or even before
right.
that, where did that entrepreneurial story began for you?
Okay,
Yeah,
right.
when did you become this person who's showing up in these unfamiliar environment, taking risk, starting a tech company now in
Right.
China? Where did your entrepreneurial story begin? Tell us about that.
My entrepreneur spirit actually started way back when I was young and all that, and I wanted to like, I had a okay, when I wanted to, I had a I mean, I grew up from a family where I grew up in a family of entrepreneurs. Like, mom is an entrepreneur, dad is an entrepreneur. So basically,
Mm.
it's something like, you see them go hard every
It's
day,
in your
hustle.
blood. It's in your
Yeah,
blood.
so you just see
It's in the
them go out, hustle.
DNA.
Yeah, 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 something like that. Right, you just go out and see them hustle for months and all that, and they come back and all that. They weren't working for people; they were just like, doing their own shit. And then I was pretty much close to them then, and you see them they just want to do things every day. They want to do things every day, and they just come up with ideas. We could do this, and they just go ahead and do it, and they make money from it. So, but and that was the
Mm.
real
And
origin of
are your
my.
parents in tech as well? Are your
Oh no, no,
parents
not not not. They have
technology
no
entrepreneur?
they have no idea of what technology is. Like, literally, if you tell them about, they just know.
So how did you how did you how did you get involved in tech?
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Story was funny. So 16 years old, 15 years, I left secondary school at 15 years old. So after leaving secondary school at 15 years old,
Mm.
then I was like, what are you gonna do now? I was like, my mom wanted me to be a medical doctor. I was like, so she was like, okay, fine. While you wait for admission, I'm just gonna take you to a computer school whereby you can learn how to fix computers. I was like, all right, cool, cool, cool. And so I got there. So at 16, I started fixing computers, like at the age of 16. And that was when I learned. I mean, I started using. I used DOS. My first, like, Windows was actually DOS and Windows
Oh
95.
wow.
Yeah. So then I started learning how to use repair
Wow.
computers and all that. Then after that, I was like, Phil, how do you make money? How do you make money with this thing? I don't want to look. I don't want to, like, go and look for a job and all that. I was like, looking for. So I was like, so maybe I mean, someone is teaching me this. Maybe I could just teach other people this. And I was like, so I printed a business card, and I remember the at 17
My
years old,
man.
at 17 years old, then I came up with a company name. It's called Biosoft. It's,
My man.
yeah, let me show you. I have a picture of the logo for that company. Like, it's called Bio. The name of the company was called Biosoft and all that. And basically, what we do was just like we just like teach other people computer. So I had the logo stuff. I had stuff like that. And I
Wow.
was just like, I just give it around to people. Yeah, anybody want to learn stuff, and just come over to me. And I got two clients then, and
My
I got
man.
two clients then, and it
Oh
was really amazing.
wow.
And that was how my entrepreneurship journey started. Then after that, I started approaching churches.
And I'm
I
I'm
started,
I'm I'm really curious. I don't mean to cut you off here, but I'm
sorry, it's
curious.
okay.
You're 17 years old.
Right,
Your mom took you. You were supposed to become a doctor,
right,
but your mom took you to this computer learning place to learn how to fix
right,
computer to just
right,
kill the time until the application come back.
right,
I hope she
right.
didn't regret that decision.
Yeah, yeah. It was. I was going to show you something. Now, look at this is the company logo. I I did 17 years old. Like,
Uh-huh.
it's Biosoft. Right. So
Uh-huh.
this is the letterhead I was sending out to churches and all that there. So
My
yeah,
man.
it wasn't something they were actually proud of. Like, what they wanted me to do was something totally different from what I was going to do. And I
Mm,
remember then, even after the old stuff, I mean, it wasn't what they were proud of and all that. But at the end of the old day, you know, at the end of the old day, they loved it. And they kind of assumed the fact that I fix computers. Even till today, they still think I
mm,
fix computers for a living. So if you tell them that, oh, I built this app for this person, I built that, they're like, okay, you still fix computers. That's what you do. Like, yeah, you still fix computers.
mm,
But then it all turns out well. Like, it turns out well. Like, technology is like
mm.
technology is
And
beautiful.
yeah, and another thing you said that's interesting, which a lot of entrepreneurs sometimes struggle with, is finding clients. But you were
Hmm,
17 and
right,
you print out these business card and letterhead and you found your
right,
first two clients.
right.
Tell me about that. How did you found your first two clients at
Oh
17?
yeah,
What was your client acquisition
uh,
strategy?
that that
Yes,
that that
Dad,
was
no. What was
yeah,
that?
that was I mean, that was more. It wasn't that easy. I was gonna check in Nigeria here. The easiest community you can actually get was a church, right? So everybody go to church on Sunday. Everybody go to
Mm,
church on Sunday. They just go to church. They go to gadgets on Sunday. So I was like, okay, fine. The easiest place I could actually do, the easiest
mm,
place for me to get client was going to be like two churches. So I mean, I'm back in those
okay.
days. I usually go to church. I was a church person. Like, I was really typical church person. So at the end of the service, I would join this particular community, this particular group in the church, and the choir group, joined this group, and the reason why I was joining all kind of groups was because of the fact that I needed to share my business card. That was how I landed my first client. Like, and after that, I will go to another church. In my life, do you know how many churches I've been to? I've been to so many churches, so many
Sounds
churches.
like a lot. Sounds like a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah,
That's what you call business development, bro. That's business development.
that is business
You know,
development.
it's interesting what you said. Yeah, yeah. I really love that, and I hope that our listeners are really paying attention
Right,
here.
right, right,
There's a framework that I share with my client to decide whether or
mm-hmm,
not you have a great target market. And you said something that really
right,
highlight that. You said, churches were easy to target. Yeah,
right.
and there's this framework called PMEG. P
Okay,
stands for they have a problem. Yeah, so
right,
there's a high probability people in church will have problems with
right,
computer.
right,
Yeah,
right,
MEG is that M stands for they have money. They have money to solve the problem. Yeah,
right,
people who go to church, they work, they must have money.
right,
Then
right,
the E is that they're easy to target. Yeah,
right,
your market should be easy to target. And
right,
you already
right,
identified that, right?
right,
And
right,
then
right,
the G is that it's growing. It's a growing market. And
Right,
I'm
right.
sure churches are always getting new members. So
They're
you have
always,
checked off
always,
the box to the PMAC
they
framework
are
where
always getting new members, always getting new members, and it's quite easy for them to
yeah,
trust you because yeah, I mean, you're going to the same church. A brother to a brother is like, well done,
yeah,
brother.
yeah,
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 well done,
yeah,
brother. This is what I do for a
yeah.
living. This is my business card. If you
Mm.
need me, just give me a call and all that. It was
Yeah,
marketing that was really easy. Like, I mean, we don't do digital marketing those days. We just do physical
yeah,
marketing. Just go out and share business cards, and it worked.
yeah, yeah,
It worked,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
that was how I got
yeah,
my
yeah.
first one.
And one thing I'm realizing as well as you say that
Right,
you said back in those days we did physical marketing, not digital marketing.
right,
However, the fundamentals remain the same.
right,
Yeah, we gotta
right,
establish an easy to target group.
right,
And then,
right.
as you said you went to more churches than anybody, right? You gotta literally go
Seriously,
to the market and
do, do,
interact with the
do, do you
market so
do
you
you
can
know that? Do you know that
build
my
trust.
younger brother once told me? My younger brother once told me that you are doing religion prostitution. It's a what you're doing is religion prostitution. Like,
I
it's
I rebuke him. Let's rebuke that. We rebuke that. That's tell him his business development.
it's like you should stick to one
Church
church.
people
It's
need
like,
IT help too.
you should stick to one church. I'm like, this is not about. I'm just doing the Lord's work. I'm just doing the Lord's work. Like, I'm still praying. Like,
Amen.
just
Amen.
business. All right.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's
yeah,
my
yeah.
case.
And you're being a service as well. But that's
Right.
really
Right.
inspiring because to
Right.
know at 17 years old,
Right.
yeah, you had that spirit. Your parents, you see that from your parents, and you
Mm-hmm.
observe,
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm.
lightness, and you merge
Right.
that entrepreneurial spirit
Right.
with your
Right.
love for technology.
Right.
Now,
Right.
one thing that I love about this show is that we deal with real challenges, like things that
Right.
tech CEOs is
Right.
facing right now, so our
Right.
listeners can know the reality of the game that we are playing.
Right.
So
Right.
what I'm about to do with the remainder of this session is just to ask you some very powerful question and just
Sure.
work
Sure.
through a challenge that you're facing currently as a
Right.
tech
Right.
CEO. And if
Right.
I ask a question and you feel uncomfortable not answering, you can just say that this is an area that you don't want to go down,
Sure.
which
Sure.
is
Sure. Sure.
perfectly
Sure.
fine.
Sure. Right.
Is that fair?
Yeah, that's fair.
Awesome,
Really fair.
awesome.
Right.
Now, let's say we had to have a truly extraordinary conversation today,
Right.
Abisoye, and we
Mm-hmm.
had to work through a challenge right now that you're facing as a tech CEO. What would we need to work through right now?
I think that would be in terms of, like, raising funds as a first time founder,
Hmm.
as an African founder, raising fund as an African founder. Number one, raising fund as a first time founder, African founder, and also
Mm,
raising fund as an African being in who has an establishment in China. That would be most
yeah.
challenging. I mean, for me, I feel like that's the most challenging experience I've ever had in my life. Like, being able,
Mm.
trying
So,
to, I mean, trying to achieve what literally, literally what Nigerians in China would literally not want to do. Or let me put it this way: trying to achieve the unachievable
yeah.
as a Nigerian who is living in China. So that is exactly so,
Mm.
and despite all roadblocks, we still keep pushing. It's like, so I feel like the most
Yeah,
challenging
yeah.
part, and
So
it's okay. Continue your question.
yeah, yeah. So
Right,
I'm hearing three things, and I'll
right,
have you help me clarify. So there are three things that come on up, and mainly the dominator there is raising funds. So raising
right.
funds as an African Nigerian, and raising
Mm-hmm.
funds as a new startup founder, as
Right,
well having an establishment in China.
right.
Let's say we had to choose one of those to focus on. Which one do you feel would give you the biggest leverage?
Uh, uh, okay. My biggest leverage. Can you clarify that question? I need clarity on that question.
Mm. So there's
Okay.
three things that came up, right? One,
Right, right,
raising fund as an African
right.
Nigerian,
Mm-hmm.
raising fund as a new tech CEO,
Right,
or raising funds having an establishment in China. Out of the
right,
three, which is the most
right.
important one you like to work through for us?
I would say, I mean, for China, I'm taking that out already. Why? Because it's too difficult for me. So, as a first-time founder, African thing, I'm like taking that out as well. Like, so I would say
Okay.
raising funds as a first-time founder. So it's not about
Was I
China.
founder? Yeah.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
raising funds as a first-time founder.
Yeah.
I think that is the
For the
most
first time
important
founder.
thing right now.
Awesome.
Right now, it's like not African, not
Mm.
in China. So raising funds as a founder, and
Yeah.
that is the most important part right now.
Now, that makes me curious.
Right.
What do you find is the problem? What do you think is the main problem? Raising funds as a first-time founder. What's the problem?
As first-time founder, there are so many things that you assume out of naiveness. Like you assume so much things. You assume simplicity. You assume this. You assume so many things and all that. But then when it comes to but then when it comes to raising funds, you just realize the fact that your assumptions are totally wrong. Like investors actually, I mean, most of the investors I've spoken with, it's always about the fact that you don't have the experience. Number one, number two, you don't have a co-founder. You don't have the experience. You don't have a co-founder, and you're more like, so who are you? So it's always about who are you and all that. It's like, and at the end of the whole day, you feel like, okay, fine, okay, you don't need me, you need my product. But it's like, okay, fine, but we need to invest on a team at the initial stage. Okay, look at your team and all that. Then when they look at your team, like, who are these people? So it's like these people are literally nobody. So it all boils down to the fact that and so it all boils down to the fact that one guy from nowhere who had sort of some kind of team around him wants to raise this kind of money, but he has no connections to any investors before. None of the investors knows him. Nobody know him. Like literally nobody is like totally underrepresented, and he needs this money. And it's like, why should we trust him? Like nobody should trust him. Like then it's like, okay,
so what I'm hearing, and even before
okay, continue.
Go ahead.
No, to put more light to that.
What I'm hearing.
To put more light to that, it's more like we approached an investor who actually said that okay, fine, you might need a warm intro. It's like warm intro from what? From another investor. So and from someone from our team and all that. And then you actually went to talk with all the members of the team. Like, but nobody wants to talk to you because everybody's actually busy with their own things. So it's like, where do you get the warm intro from actually? Then like I mean, in the past. So in the past 1 year, we've gotten a lot of.
Let me do this. I want to pull things back. I want to pull things back a bit. Yeah. And the great thing about this conversation is this is a real problem that most tech startup CEOs face. And we just want to acknowledge that. So this is a problem that a lot of tech startup CEOs face.
Right.
So one of the things that sometimes we do is that we tend to project the problem outwards. And we'll use we use pronouns like you. So one thing I want to challenge you during the conversation is start to use verbs like I. Yeah, so that way we can internalize the real problem that we're facing so that we can build that awareness. So what I'm hearing simply is that, from previous conversation with investors, is that the feedback that you've been getting is, okay, who are you? We don't know you, and you don't know anybody else that can really let us know we trust you. Yeah, they're not like the churches, they're not the church, they're not seeing you as your brother, yeah? So my question for you would be, what would need to shift? Yeah, what would need to shift so that you can create that level of trust with investors?
Okay. I think your question actually is one of the things I went through online a couple of days ago. I was like, fine, for your investors to actually trust you, you probably need to create a relationship with them. And that's literally what I'm doing now. And building a relationship takes a long time. Do you know how long it took me to build a relationship with you? I've been spotting
this is our third call.
Right. So it took me a long time to build a relationship even with you. And building a relationship with people, investors, takes a long time. Even when the fact that you actually need them urgently, it takes a long time. So to change that concept, to solve the problem means the fact that you need to build a relationship. So for second time founder, they've went through the stage I'm actually going through right now. So they've actually seen it. They've built that relationship that they could actually rely on whenever they're doing their second raising and all that. But at the initial stage, still need to build a relationship. And God knows if you don't collapse before you finish building that relationship and all that. So it's always relationship. It's always like, people invest in relationship. Just the way I build the relationship in churches, and they're able to give me client back then. So it's the same thing I realize right now, that I need to build those relationships right now before people can actually trust you to use your product and all that. But then you're like looking at, okay, fine. Then okay, fine. I felt like, okay, fine. When should I have started building this relationship? Maybe I should have started building a relationship before the moment I had the concept. The moment you design, the moment you have an idea of what you want to do, I think that is the moment you need to start building a community around whatever you're working on. And that is the mistake I made as a first time founder. Like the idea that, okay, fine, I'm gonna build this product and people are gonna love it. No. After building, I realized the fact that, okay, that's a total wrong concept. It's gonna be, I'm gonna build this product and nobody's gonna use it. But then you're like, okay, fine, I'm gonna build this product, people are gonna love it, I'm gonna get investment. It didn't work out that way for first time founder. My little realization was more like, I'm gonna have this idea. I'm going to build a community around it, to do more research on this idea, then build relationships with people and all that on this idea. So what happened between realizing what happened was that after a long feedbacks of like, no, sorry, we're not investing. No, sorry, we're not investing. Oh, no, sorry, we didn't have whatever. There was this kind of like realization, like, okay, fine, maybe I'm actually just doing things. Maybe I could just sit back and just take a sort of reflection about what is it I'm actually doing wrong as a first time founder. What are things? Okay, how did I made my first client then? What is different right now? That was when I realized, okay, fine. As a first time founder, this is what you actually need to do.
But even before you go there, I wanna pull things back because of the time. I really want to make sure you get a sweet nugget from this. And I love where the conversation is going.
Right.
And the thing that I'm hearing is that you need to start building a relationship even from the beginning. Yeah, that's one of the things that you realize you should have done as a first time founder. You made me remember this quote. You made me remember this quote that states that, people don't invest in company, they invest in people. Yeah, right. So knowing what you know now. Yeah, knowing what you know now.
Right.
Let's say you had to increase the rate at which you build relationship with a network of investors. Right. What can you start doing differently now to increase your rate at which you build relationships?
I started doing that already. it's literally what I started doing that. It's literally what I started doing, connecting with people. We use LinkedIn. LinkedIn has actually been of great help. Twitter, I was literally focused on Twitter.
But I want to pull things back a bit. I want to pull things back a bit because I want to go into the specific. What specifically? Because even the listeners, you may say connect with people, but maybe they won't know exactly how. Yeah, but what specifically do you feel you need to do to connect with people on such a level? It creates this level of trust that would make it easier for you to raise funds.
Your question is, what do I need to do to connect with these people, right? Right. What do I need? I just need, I feel I don't even, my answer will probably say I need a product, but then I feel like I don't need a product to connect with people anymore. Okay, I don't even need a product to connect with people. I was reading something I read online yesterday. While going through an entrepreneur lecture, is more like, you don't need money to connect with people. You don't need money to get investors. You need ideas to get investors. So you need creativity to get investors and all that. And that is literally what I'm actually doing right now. So because people don't want to talk about investors don't want to talk about your product when they talk with you. They want to talk about you first. Like, hey, what's up? What are you doing? Be human first. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm being human. I'm being human to investors. Like, okay, I'm just me. I'm just me, and I'm just trying
Yeah.
to create some relationship here, and it has been working so far. Like, I mean, I've connected with a couple of people in the past since I got back to Nigeria, and without even talking about what I do. So it's going to be much later that I'll have to talk about what I do, or maybe they will have to see by themselves and all
Yeah.
that. And that is more about building relationship and all that. So, and it's
Yeah.
really it feels like this is what I should have been doing a long time ago, and it should have compounded into investing right now. But it's what I'm actually doing right now. But it will compound eventually, but it will take some time. So, so
Yeah.
so relationship very important for
And
investment, for everything. It's really important.
what yeah. Yeah, I really love that. So what I'm hearing is that, a major distinction that you said is that you have been connecting with people without even telling them what you do, just being
Right,
yourself, being your real self. Now,
right.
what are the resources that you have to really, how to say, 10x what you've already been doing? What resources you have right now that would 10x what you're already doing?
Resources. I don't know. I don't think you need any kind of resources to 10x that. I mean, I don't think there's. I mean, I don't know. I don't think. I don't. I'm not. I don't have any resources right now. And I'm not thinking about what resources that could actually 10x that.
But let's
Because,
pull things back a bit. Let's pull
okay,
things back a bit. I want to pull
okay,
things
okay,
back a
okay,
bit.
okay, okay,
Let
okay,
me.
okay.
Can I challenge you here? Can I
Okay,
challenge
please,
you?
please do challenge me. I love
Yeah.
challenges.
Let's
Let's do
let's
it.
say. I can see
Let's do
that.
it.
I can see that.
Let's do it.
Let's say hypothetically speaking, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say there's resources that you already have, but you haven't
Right.
been utilizing them, but you already have
Like
them.
what? Resources
They're
like
in
what?
your environment.
Resources like what?
It could be human resource, it could be knowledge
Okay.
resource, it could be
Okay. Okay.
financial resource,
Okay.
connection, it
Okay.
could be skill
Okay.
resources.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
so
Right.
think about all the resources that you have
Mm-hmm.
and think about the goal. The
Right.
goal is to build trust with
Right.
people who can help with your fundraising effort.
Right.
So what are the resources you have that may possibly that you can leverage that
Mm-hmm.
can 10x your effort in building trust with the right people?
Oh,
Yeah.
right. And that's exactly what I'm saying. That okay, the resources I actually have right now, I would say my team. My team. These are the resources I have right now. But then I in every conversation for every relationship I'm building right now, I'm trying to go back to my root, the root of building traditional relationship before bringing product into it. That's literally what I'm doing right now. Build relationship traditionally. Like talk with people, just talk with people and all that. So I'm not using my resources right now. I'm not using any resources right now. Like I'm not using I mean, just what I'm doing right now is just like building relationship traditionally with people. And the only resources I actually have is gonna be about like my team, which I'm not even using at all. Like I'm not even like, okay, we're not even talking about it at all. So we're just like, okay, fine. You guys gonna do your thing, and I'm just gonna like do things the way I did it when I was at 17. Just talk with people, build normal relationship. That's all, and it's been working actually.
That makes me that makes me curious.
Yeah, sure.
What if you leverage your team to also build a relationship the way how you're building your relationship? What would change?
Okay, because nobody can sell your product more than you do.
Let's pull things back. Let's pull things
Okay,
back. Yeah.
right,
What if you did
right,
leverage your team in that way?
right.
What would change?
That's what I'm saying. Like no one can build it better than you do. No one actually, literally no one. I'm being frank here.
Yeah,
No one.
that's understandable. I'm saying,
Right.
what if
What
your
if?
team was able
Okay.
to do that?
What if
Yeah,
my team?
what if, what if,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. What if my
Yeah, let's
team can
explore the
actually do it?
possibilities. What if, yeah.
Okay. What if my team can? Of course,
Yeah.
of course. I mean, things could actually go faster and all that. And it's something I would love to do.
Yeah.
It's something that I would love to do. And we have a team. We have a team member, Maritha Johnson, and she's been like amazing. she's been really amazing and all that. But she's been
big up
amazing and all
Martha.
that.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know Martha.
yeah. So but on the backside, it's still like if you can leverage your team and all that, of course you could 10x everything like within a short period of time, and that would literally be amazing and all that. However, 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 I still believe in the traditional, and I think I was born in those days whereby traditional relationship was way more important than the digital ones and all that, which is like, and the team we have right now are more like into digital thing and all that. So for me, I'm like, oh, let's go traditionally, like meet, talk, hi, coffee, and all that. So
And what if your team was able to do it traditionally as well?
of course,
Because what
if
I'm
you want,
hearing is that if you're able to leverage your team, what I'm hearing is that they would move 10 times faster.
of course,
So
yes.
what if what you're doing traditionally, they're also able to do it? What would be different? What would be the possibilities for
that would be
what you're
awesome.
creating?
That would be awesome. That would literally be awesome. Like literally, that would be perfection. That would be totally perfection. If everyone is actually able to do the same thing at the same time, that is like, it's more like if you're having a nail over here and you have four people hitting the nail at the same time. That's that's a lot. That's a lot of pressure for that nail. It's gonna go inside at some point. Damn it, you got it. I'm tired. So, but if you one person actually hitting it, the tendency of getting tired is actually there. So if I can leverage all my team to do the same thing the way I'm doing it, then things will be, way better than it is right now. Of course, way better. Right,
No,
10x, like you said.
No, this is a very important question I'm gonna ask you next.
Okay, sure.
And there's no right or wrong answer to it.
Right.
And the question would be, what would be the belief or the mindset shift
right
that you'll need to start adapting that would make it easy for you to leverage your team in this way, so that you have 4 person hitting the nail instead of 1?
Okay.
What would that mindset shift need to be for
the
you?
mindset shift that I will need is going to be like to believe that my team could actually do exactly what I am doing right now. Right. That's just gonna be like, just to believe it that they could actually do it. They could actually do what I'm doing. But then I think I understand where you're going with this. I also want to understand. I also want you to understand, like, I was a business person that became a technical person that later came back to business. During the technical phase of my life, there was a mind shift. The mind shift that product is important. And there were a lot of failures within that mind shift. So the failures were what brought me back to business part, helping me understand the fact that business is important, not technical. So I was at a stage in my life, like, okay, there was a stage in my life, 17, I was like, business, I want to make money. Then a stage came, there was more like technical, core technical. Then a technical person who actually became a businessman, was there has to be a lot of mind shift. And for me to change the concept, so for me to change, change comes voluntarily. Changes come voluntarily. It's not something you can like tell someone, this is what you need to do. It is something like it comes as a result of the fact that I feel I need to change. So even if I am going to do a mind shift for my team, and if they don't do it, if they don't feel the need to, it's still going to be difficult. It's still going to be difficult and all that. And my team are all technical people. We are all technical people. All technical. So we have a business person, but we have others are more like technical people.
So this is what I'm hearing, and I'm not implying anything. Usually, I'm just asking the questions.
Right.
So this is what I'm hearing.
Right.
The belief that you feel you need to adapt would be that your team would be able to do it as good as you can. That's the belief.
Right.
And right now, your team is not technical people. So that means that they would need to have that voluntary. They would need to also have that belief shift.
Right.
Yeah, and So my question for you would be, now what is your next step?
Okay.
What is
My
your
next
next
step.
step?
My next step. My next step at this moment to 10x is just, oh, that's complicated. Okay, but I'm going to answer it. So my next step right now at this moment is just like continue what I'm actually doing, the way I'm actually doing it, which I do believe that's going to compound eventually. Have a business developer do things as well the same way I'm actually doing it, not to complicate anything. And also have technical people handle technical things and have business people handle business things. So not to complicate anything.
Yeah.
Just business people handle business things and technical people handle business technical things. I was more of a technical
Yeah.
person that became a business person.
Yeah.
And now I'm doing traditional marketing myself. So what I could do,
This is the game we play. This is the game
yeah,
we play.
yeah. So what I could do right now is just like have a business person do things traditionally as well, just the way I'm actually doing it.
Yeah.
So that would more like 2x things, right?
Yeah.
Then have my
Yeah.
technical people focus on what they are best at. Like, don't change it. Don't become a businessman because it's like I said, changes comes from it comes from the mindset that you've actually failed and you need to switch your mindset from being a programmer or being a UI designer or being a person that collects money than to a person that gives money. There's a lot of differences when you're collecting and when you're giving. There's a lot of like mind changes in that. When you're collecting, you don't care about so many things, but when you're giving back, paying salaries and all that, there's a lot of mindset changes like that there that you can find. Whatever you give back, how do you double it?
Well, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
first
whatever
I
you,
must say I wanna
right,
I wanna say thank you for being vulnerable and open on
right,
this conversation.
right,
I know that
right,
this has
right,
been super valuable for those who have been listening. When we
right,
started the coaching segment, you mentioned, raising funds as a starting tech CEO.
right,
And then during the conversation, we went down the rabbit hole of, trust becomes very important in
right.
when we're approaching, investors.
Investors,
And
right,
to build that trust, we gotta be who we are. We gotta be ourselves.
right,
And then
right,
we
right,
hit a very interesting nail where you realize that, you know, it's like as one person building a relationship,
right,
yeah, you can only move at this fast. But if you have 4 nail building relationship, it
right.
moves 10 times faster.
Faster,
Then
right,
I saw you had an insight that instead of having your technical people do
right,
business development,
right,
you continue doing what you know how to do and then get another business developer to do business
right,
stuff so you can start to move to time faster.
right,
Now let
right.
me ask you, what was your biggest insight from our conversation, Abisoye?
Oh,
What
I
was
think
your biggest insight?
I think clarity. I like how you help me navigate that path. Like when you ask me, like when you ask that question, when you ask that question, like what could you be doing differently right now? I was like, oh shit, I'd never thought about that. So I like when you ask that. I like it. I mean, that is one question my wife usually will ask me most times. Like, what would you do differently? I mean, what would you do differently? Okay, how would you do it? And I was like, oh, don't shrink me now. Okay, so clarity is something that I just like. I learned a couple of things and all that, and I think I
Yeah.
need to make a couple of changes. Right, 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 right.
Yeah. What would be the first change? What would be that one change? And I think that
One
change would
change.
be valuable to the
I,
listeners as well. What would be that change?
one change is going to be like having another person from our team who is not technical, who is
Mm.
non-technical to do
Mm.
traditional business development, just like
Mm.
I'm doing.
Oh,
And
old
okay,
school, like going to the
that would be too
church,
hammer,
like
too
going.
hammer on
Wait,
the
wait,
head.
what your brother? What your brother said?
He said, "Oh,
What your
yeah,
brother call it? Your brother said it was
religious prostitution."
prostitution.
Yeah, religious prostitution. Okay, so yeah,
Awesome.
but the thing is, I can't go
And
to church. I can't go to church to like, hey, bro, check
and
me
not for
out.
this one. Not for
Yeah,
this one. We gotta find the investors. We
yeah,
gotta
you gotta
find the
find investors.
investors.
That's not the same. Not the same. Not the same.
And what would be your last message? If this was your last message on earth, there would be a lot of other tech CEOs listening to this, both who are already scaling their business and those who are ambitious, who want to start as well. So if this was your last message, what would be your last message to those who are listening?
I would say like clarity. I mean, whatever you're doing, just keep doing it. Whatever you're doing it, even if you're not so sure about it, as long as you believe it. I mean, failure comes when you start believing in what you're doing. That is when failure starts. But whatever you're doing, as long as you believe in it, just keep doing it. And you would not be clear at first, but because clarity comes with time, you will not have it all together at first. Eventually, you will have it all together. So just keep doing it. Clarity comes with time, and the more you do it, the more you have a more clear and predefined way on a certain process. And I mean, take a look at it. Whoever your mentor is, he didn't achieve this in a year. Whoever your mentor is, they didn't achieve whatever they had in a year. It took them years. Motivational speakers are amazing, but then they didn't become motivational speakers within a year. It took time, practice and perfection and all that. So whatever you're doing, whatever tech you're building, whatever system you're building, whatever app you're building, whatever technology you're creating over there, sincerely, just as long as you believe in it, just keep doing it. And time will bring clarity. And when clarity comes in, that's success. That's
awesome. Let's get it. Let's go. This is Abisoye Bello, CEO of Adeva Digital Identity, as well as, you need to help me with the second company pronunciation. Is it, how do you pronounce the second one?
Sabidoria.
And how can our listeners get connected to you and your work? And maybe there's some investors listening as well who would love to be a part of the digital identity space. How can they get connected to you?
Search for me on LinkedIn. My LinkedIn is pretty much available, pretty open. Abisoye Bello, or search for Adeva ID. Also, I'm also available on Twitter, Adeva ID or Abisoye Bello. So, I mean, I'm sort of easy to find. And I have an email, of course.
Awesome.
My email,
awesome.
Abisoye at Adeva. Okay. So,
let's get it. Let's go. I'm going to keep all that information in the show notes. So if you want to connect with my brother, go ahead, check out what he's doing. And yeah, the work that you're doing is really important. And I'm happy that we were able to have this conversation and really to be a part of this journey with you, brother. Let's get it. Let's go. Thank you.
Thank you.
You've heard the stories and strategies of today's top tech CEOs. But where do you fit in? What's your unique superpower as a founder? Now take our free CEO type quiz to unlock your leadership blueprint and gain insights to maximize your potential. Now go to levelupwithdeano.com and take just 3 minutes to complete this quiz. Instantly receive a detailed report revealing your CEO type along with a personalized 3-phase plan for achieving abundance and freedom on your term. Are you a visionary, a driver, an analyst, community builder, or self-improver? Take the quiz now and own your entrepreneurial journey. Discover what makes you tick as a founder and learn to lead from your sweet spot for success. That's www.levelupwithdeano.com. Spelling matters. Make sure you get it right. Take the quiz and start leading on your term, your way. This is your key to freedom, and go and get it. levelupwithdeano.com.